Weird.
Bobby is with us. Man, he always brings the great questions. And he
Hi,
says,
Bobby.
Tony, what was the meeting like prior to Nitro where you were told that Nitro was going to happen back in 1995? So,
Wow.
just to sort of remind everybody, WCW's had these syndicated shows on the weekends like Worldwide and Pro for years. But their A show is WCW Saturday Night, 6:05 Eastern on WTBS. We all grew up on it. We all loved it. That was the A show. Meanwhile, the WWF had been long established on Monday nights. And eventually on USA, we would even see Tuesday Night Titans, which was more of a studio based show, more of a Tonight Show type, really heavy on the sports entertainment angle. But Monday night was wrestling, even going back to Tully Blanchard's father's promotion, Southwest. So Monday Night Raw eventually becomes a thing, and it's live. And eventually, as we know, it wasn't always live, but there was an idea. Hey, let's make Raw a weekly thing and a live show. And now, a couple of years later, you hear, wait, we're going to do that too? And on Monday night? What did you think of that the first time you heard it, Tony?
Well, I thought that it was a pretty. I thought it was a pretty good idea. I thought that live wrestling was the way to go. I like the fact that you're doing something live because, as Dusty Rhodes would say, you're living on the end of the lightning bolt, right? If you're doing something live. So I thought it was pretty good. I remember bits and pieces of it. I remember, I think I remember just a couple of meetings. I remember Eric talking about how live was the way to go and how he wanted to really make a statement as far as being the competitor for the WWF back then. But I also remember Eric and I having lunch, and I think we had it a couple days before at the Mall of America. And Eric told me that he thought in his mind that there was a total of a 5 rating point out there that is available out there. And then hopefully we would be end up getting a 3 and they would be getting a 2 eventually. And I guess as we moved along and in the height of the Monday Night War, the ratings point was bigger than 5. It totaled more than 5. So I think Eric had an idea of what he wanted to do, but I don't think he realized how big it would get.
A wrestling historian wants to know, how would you have ended the NWO storyline? That's a great story. You know, when I talked to Eric Bischoff about things he regrets, he's got a handful that he wishes he had a do over on. Bret Hart and WCW comes to mind. But he's also told me that, you know, he loved the NWO storyline. Clearly, it's the one that defined his success and WCW's success all these years later. But there wasn't like a proper close of the storyline, like getting it kicked off with Scott Hall coming down the stairs on a live Nitro, or the next gear was the debut of Kevin Nash, and we kicked it into another gear when Kevin Nash and Eric Bischoff sailing. But when Hulk Hogan joined the NWO and we heard the phrase "the New World Organization, brother," we knew the NWO was here. What an iconic start! We don't really have an iconic finish. If you could go back and
Wow.
insert a finish into that amazing NWO storyline, is it Goldberg? Is it Sting? Is it Kevin Nash? Is it something else? What would the fitting ending be to the NWO?
Well, the fitting ending would have been Sting because Sting was their nemesis allegedly through all of this. And I know that we got the Wolf Pack and we got the tomato face Sting and even Hulk Hogan went back to Hulkamania, right? Back in
Yep.
so but I think I would have stretched it out to where Sting would have um, faced Hogan, gone over Hogan, and the NWO would have dissolved from there. I mean, there's a little more pieces to that to make it better, I know, but that would have been the main idea for me. I mean, I go back to that, and it's in my comic book that I thought the demise of our company creatively started when Sting did not lose to Hogan or didn't beat Hogan clean at Starrcade, whatever it was.
Yeah, he was at Starcast with the AEW World Champion David Arquette. I was there.
Yeah.
Hey, Bad Money Slim is with us, and he's got a great question. He says, I've personally been to 2 dynamites and 1 collision in the last 4 months. It's always a great time. I encourage everyone to check it out. With that being said, Tony, how big is Batista's dick?
It's about as big as the locks that Bad Money Slim has on the back of his head. About as long as that. What I've been told.
I'll be honest, it's been a while since I've seen Bad Money in person. Do you think that Batista's handle is a one-hander, a two-hander, a three-hander? What are we looking like?
A 3-hander?
Well, I mean,
Well,
listen,
I
sometimes you
mean,
got to phone a friend, is what I've heard.
oh God. Probably a 1-hander.
Let's go to one shot of Tony here because the real takeaway is for 411fucksheet.com. AEW announcer Tony Schiavone says Batista has a small hog.
Well, I mean, doesn't one hand do it?
Wait,
What's it going to do if you use one hand?
Hang on.
Is it going to drop? What is it going to drop in the toilet? You got to use. Go to the next question.
When you crank your tractor, you do it with one hand.
A hot dog is not a sandwich.
Hey, let me ask you: How do you eat a hot dog? Do you eat it? Do you like lick up and down the sides, or you just jam it in and see how much you can fit in? Or
I bite it off. I haven't eaten a hot dog in over 600 days.
Wait a minute. Do you have a counter somewhere in your house?
Yes, I do. I've been on this diet. Hang on a second.
Yeah, look up hot dog, you nothing happening son of a plumber. See the last time you ate a hot dog was.
I've been on this diet 650 days. And
you got to get back on the independence. You'll be eating hot dogs again.
And pizza.
I'm just saying. By the way, let the record show at all of the Starrcasts, and you've been in all of them, how many times did we have hot dogs in catering?
Yeah. I don't know.
Never. Come on now.
Never. Hey,
put that evil on me.
As you know, I really love Boca burgers.
Oh, fuck off.
Okay. And now I've got something that I like almost as well as a Boca burger.
Cream of some young guy?
It is pizza with a cauliflower crust.
Man, just fuck right off. Like, I don't even like you. No wonder you can whack it with one hand. This is bullshit.
You haven't had a cauliflower pizza. Cauliflower pizza. You don't know what you're missing.
Yeah, I've had it. You know, Cassio used to date an imbecile, and she went down that road, so we had to pretend. And I got a bite of her pizza by accident once.
Really? How did her pizza taste?
Let's move on.